everyone, welcome to GrayManPrepping. Tonight is time for Tactical Tuesday. We're going to talk about tactics, gear, and more. Tonight's going to be more of the more. And tonight's topic is dun, 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 gray water. What is it and can you use it? And first, right off the bat, before someone fires it off there, no, it is not something I drink. All right, how's everybody doing there? All right, I'm not bringing any special guests up on here unless my nephew happens to show up. And the only reason I would bring him up here, because he's a superintendent, or he's been a superintendent for one of the largest underground construction companies in California. They build water treatment plants, sewage treatment plants, and put in all the water lines and sewer lines and stuff. But he's currently He is currently an inspector for the East Bay Municipal Utility District, East Bay Mud. And so this is something he knows a lot about. Of course, I also helped train him because we used to work for the same company with him years ago. All righty, let's grab the chat, run it back up to the top so I can see who else in here. First in here was Tammy at Rebel Canners. Woohoo! If she can stay awake. All right, next was Walt Rogers, then Phelan Clan Wolf, then Courtney at Wide Family Farm, then Troop 1351. And everybody's saying hi back and forth and chit chat. Then CR from North of the Border, Creative Redundancy. And then Gear Grinding 19. And let's see, Shadow Scout Sweet is here. And it's people talking about the ads they were watching beforehand. Which usually is because I have YouTube up over here, so I can I make my comments and stuff on there rather than trying to work it in over here most of the time. And usually when I get a long ad, I just let it play over there. But Pastor McQuaddy's in the house, and CR is still here, still being redundant. Oh, I just thought of a new way to tease CR. Just say, oh, Creative Redundancy's here again. Oh, he's here again. Being redundant. All right. Urban Garden Chronicles is in the house. Rachel Knight is here. And let's see here. Make sure I don't miss anybody. And everybody's chatting back and forth. Brenda at Duncan 1900 Homestead is in the house. Vanessa Kitty is here. And I think I've caught up for a while. All right, so Suburban Hillbilly just came in. All right, so tonight it's going to be a lot of almost like classroom information here at first. So I want to get certain facts out there and then lay things out for you so you can start firing off questions. And Lewis, it's the Marshmallow Man is here. All right. I will be doing 2 channel member wheels, giveaways off the wheel. And I'll probably be doing that about 25 after here. So in about 20 minutes or so. All righty. So let's get over here on this here. All right, so gray water, what is it and can you use it? Well, the simple answer to the question is depends on your municipality, your city or county regulations. All right, so let's get in there and see what we can do here. Okay, so in judging what gray water is, everyone usually talks, well, you got clean water, you got gray water, you got black water, and that's it. Wrong. There are shades of gray water. Generally, I speak of usually light gray and dark gray. And I'll explain that as we get going along here. But there are shades of gray water depending on how badly contaminated is a relative term here, how badly dirtied it is, as you know, and depending on how dark gray it is, depends on where you can use it at. All right. So basically, you got your water is either clear, light gray, dark gray, or black. Now, black water is considered toilet water, and that's what it means. You got the poo flowing in the toilet, and oh, you can't use that. Which we're going to go with that for a minute, and we'll talk about the variants on that. And Garden State Gardener's in the house, and he threw up a super chat. Ooh, 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 ooh. Thank you, Joe. Thank you very much. All righty. So clear water, that's what comes out of your tap. Black water is what comes out of your toilet. Everything else in the house is considered gray. And I froze. But like I said, gray water, how gray it is relative in terms. All right. So once again, so you can be just very low. All right. I'm going to talk about something here like it would be like here on the 10% scale here in a second here. In fact, I think I got the picture coming up on it. Yes. All right. When I was growing up, we had one of these cement laundry tubs. When we pulled out root crops and stuff, and even leafy crops from the garden, we'd bring it into the one side, and we would rinse everything off. So any of the dirt, so it had some dirt on it, and bugs, whatever, wash it off. That would be a 10% gray water because there's no soap in it, and the dirt that's in there is going back into the garden. But it's like you can't use it for showering, you can't use it for drinking. So it's a little gray. Okay. So that's what I mean by different shades of gray. So if you can get hold of one of these big monster tubs like this, and you can set it up outdoors, it's perfect for reclaiming water to put right back into the garden, and you're good to go on it. Boom, just like that. Now, hey, Gardener Josh, how's it going? Now, one of the things you can do is running the water that you use to rinse off your vegetables and stuff with. If you run it down through a simple screen filter, so it screens the brown, the rust, and anything dirt and everything out of it, and you get what looks like really clean water. You can use that for laundry. Just saying. Okay, so the 10% gray water is really reusable for a lot of things. And if worse came to worse, I would screen it, run it through a t-shirt, whatever, get a bunch out of it, and I'd even use that to shower with. Hey, I've taken baths at Scout Camp, and the Scout Camp water is about 10. Everyone says, "Oh, it's clean water." I call it about 10% because it's going around, it's stirring up the silt and everything else. So it's about the 10% gray water. It's not filtered like you're getting out of the tap. All righty. So let me go back one now. Okay, so creek water is 10% gray, is about 10% gray water. If it's after a real bad storm, it could be 20 or 30% gray water if there's a lot of mud in it. All right. Water you use to wash off your vegetables and stuff, if you can catch it, is about 10% gray water. Hey, Brother Donnie, Prep for Eternity Homestead. All righty. So what other types of, let me go ahead and change this up here. There we go. We'll make that smaller, make me a little bit bigger. Okay, so what are some of the other gray waters? Well, the most common one that people use out in their garden comes from either A, They get into the house and they plumb the water from the bathroom sink and the kitchen sink, and they run that out there. Some people will use the washing machine water, but they'll also install a valve on there, because if they run a load with bleach in it, they don't want that going out into the garden. And back when I was young, back in the 60s and 70s, laundry soap had a lot of phosphates in it. And phosphates are great fertilizer. They also get all the dirt out of the clothing. Hey, all things acres, how's it going? And Juju Bees here. Southern Blessed Homestead's in the house. And so back in the 70s, we had that big, actually, let me show it again here real quick here. We had this big monster laundry one, and we ran that just down into the field. And we had, two sides of the drain. We drained the one side we put the hose from the washing machine, depending on not we were running a bleach load, whether it was going to go into the sewer or whether it was going to go into the side that was going to drain down to the field where the garden was. So, hey Maccabeus, how's it going? So the gray water from your laundry, using the old school soap and no bleach, was probably about, I would say it would probably hit about 30% on the scale, maybe 40%, depending on what you were washing. When my dad's clothes were being washed, that put it up to about 80, and because all the oil and grease and gunk, and we did not put that in the garden. We ran that water straight into the sewer. So as you can see, it depends what you're washing as how gray it is, on the scale. Now, dishwasher, your dishwasher, depending on the soap you're using, that's the thing. A lot of things depend on the soap you are using, whether or not you want to use it in the garden or you want to use it for something else. Now, the dish soap on the dishwasher, depending on the brand you get, and you got to do the research on your own brands, because I'm not going to sit here and go through all the 300 some odd brands of automatic dishwashing machine soap there is to tell you which ones are good and which are bad. You have your favorite, check it out. One of the things you can do, you can go online to the company and ask for a PDF copy of their MSDS material safety data sheet, and it tells you all the chemicals that are in the soap. Hey Tibor, how's it going? Who else snuck in here when I wasn't looking? I think it was just Tibor. Okay, so and we, when I was living in Arizona and for my junior and senior year, 73, 74, 74, 75 school years, we ran the laundry machine and the bathtub out and the kitchen sink out into the garden. When it came time for using bleach, bleaching the load, my mom would just, turn the valve and block it off, and it was a gravity feed system. So when you turn that valve and blocked it up, it backed up and went out the regular sewer. And so, so we dumped a lot of the water out there. Of course, that was back when your laundry detergent had phosphates and not the other chemicals in it to get your clothes clean. They didn't have all these scents added to it and all this other crap added to it to make your clothes less staticky and all this other crap they put in a lot of the stuff today. All right, so it depends really on what you're doing and which ones. Now, shower water at our house in California, I hooked up for the showers. So they ran out to a valve out by the sewer, and we could turn a valve there, turn one valve, turn another valve, and it would go into the just into the sewer. But for the general part, for the showers, right on out there. And we run it out, and it would go into an area around the catalpa tree. If you've seen my wife's garden tour, Chris's garden tour, part 1 and 2, there's a catalpa tree, and it's got a little retaining wall around it with, I forget what she has growing inside there. Wandering Jew, I think it is. And, so it dumps the water in there. It waters the catalpa tree, and then it leaches out everywhere else. Well, occasionally somebody in the shower, I got to pee, and they just pee. Pee water, when you're mixing it with that much shower water and stuff, dilutes it down. Yeah, you're not going to drink it. You're not going to wash your hands in it. You're not going to wash laundry in it. But it's about it. I would say on the gray scale, personally, I rate it about a 30 because the pee is so diluted. And here's the thing. How many of you boys went outside and peed on the trees, like the apricot tree, the apple tree? How many of you did that, huh? I know I caught my cousins all the time peeing on our apricot trees. Of course, then I was about 6 or 7 at the same time. You go, why is he peeing on the tree instead of using the toilet? Don't worry about it. It's fertilizing it. And my neighbors up the street, Brett and Kathy Eccles, she was the head of the horticulture department. Brett would be out there working and stuff, and he said, all right, today's Tuesday, I'm going to pee on this tree. And he had 7 trees out there. He peed on different trees during and Kathy actually was worried about it. She went out and did soil sample tests, and she told us it's fine. There's absolutely nothing bad out there from it. So, she actually had the soil tested at her house around her trees where her husband was peeing every day outside while he was working outside. They didn't have to walk. So Maccabeus rates his peeing in the shower at 100. That's black water. Oh, very refreshing. So, so she had it tested because she was worried about salt levels and stuff like that, and too much nitrates in the soil, and it was fine. So long as but he was peeing on a different tree every day, and they were getting watered in between. So, it really didn't hurt the fruit trees. Now, in 1965, we had to replace the sewer at the house over on Morello and Martinez there, the acre and a quarter my parents had, because the sewer line went out the back of the house, down to the driveway, down the driveway to the street, and along there were 2 big apricot trees and an apple tree. And this was clay pipe. And this was the clay pipe where they had the bands on it. I believe they had the bands. I don't think it was just a with some stuff packed in around it. It might have been. It definitely wasn't the modern bell and spigot type with the rubber seals there and the rubber on the end, and you stick it together, and ain't nothing getting through that. It wasn't that type pipe. This was put in back in the 50s, all right, or 40s even. But it was clay pipe, and you were enjoying the apricots and apple. We were getting apricots about that big. I mean, they were bigger than a baseball. And we were going out there, and after 3 apricots, you're full going, oh, I ate too many apricots. And the apples were huge too. And then the sewer started backing up. They got a rotor-rooter type guy out there. He ran it. They go, oh, yeah, you got a bunch of tree roots in there. And parents and were figuring, okay, we'll see if we can make it one more year before we have to do it. And he can't come out and do it again. So they rented a backhoe and they replaced the sewer line. And immediately the next year, the season, the apricots went from that big down to normal size apricots. So, and nobody got sick eating those apricots, and their roots were in there just sucking up all the poop and all the pee and everything else in there. So that's it. Now, you go and leave first world countries with all their, what's the word I'm looking for? All their civilized toilet etiquette. And you go to second and third world countries where, hey, they use the human poo as fertilizer. And so, and they helps their crops grow and stuff. So there is precedent for centuries, for thousands of years, of people using human poo, as fertilizer to grow crops. All right. So back in the Middle East, in Egypt and Babylonia, they used it. In Rome, they used it. So, we as we got more civilized, we got snobbish. Oh, I don't want to use the poo. I got my nose turned up at everybody. So, yeah. But there are things to do. Now I'm gonna, after I do the wheel here in a minute, I'm going to talk about some ways you can treat the gray water simply and do it. But we've got a couple more minutes here, so I'm going to talk about something else happening that goes on there back in California. Our sewer district is the Contra Costa County Central Sanitary District. Of all those C's, they just call it Central Sand. And their treatment plant for years, at least 30 years, probably more, has been separating the solids from the liquids and treating the liquids and giving it to the California Department of Transportation, Caltrans, who would take the trucks, drive along the freeway, and between the two, the north and southbound lanes on like 680, they had a bunch of oleanders planted there. Well, they drive along there and just, have a little spray thing on it, pump it up, and just spray the water out on the oleanders to water them during drought times. And it turned out they started doing it all the time. And some people go, well, why they're doing that? No, it's going to poison us, blah, blah, blah. And people started freaking out, and they go, no, it's treated. It's safe. Well, why can't we get it to use it at our homes for our lawns and our plants and stuff? And a couple of years later, they put in a pumping station where you could come in, bring your containers, and you could fill up you got a little card filled out when you first got there, so they know where you were using it at. And you bring your card, and they'd scan your information down, and then you'd fill up, and it write down about how much you took. And then they were applying for federal grants to get to step up the process and and stuff for it, because they were recycling water and that way. And they warn people, don't use it for drinking. This is non-potable. This is for plant use only. And we used it, and we used it on the garden, and we found out that some plants loved it and other plants hated it because it was very salty, because it had all that pea water in there. And then some of the chemicals were reacting with some of the plants, that were making it safe to use. All right, so let me come back over here for a second. And I'm going to stop sharing. And I'm going to get the wheel set up here. And there we go. Let me get that back up there. There we go. And then I'm going to share the screen now with the music for the wheel. And we should get it. All right, there we are. Let me put me down there. All righty. Okay, so I just updated the number of names on here. We had 3 people drop off. That's one of the things I've noticed is, and I know Courtney's noticed it too, is that certain people, if they don't pay with an automatic renewal thing, they get dropped off and they got to resubscribe again. So that's what's happened. Some of them dropped off. Some of them may have had one of those free gift memberships, and it dropped off. So this is what we have right now. And yes, you will see some names on there twice. That's because they are GrayMan level, the second level up, and they get, for that extra $1, they get on there twice. So I'm going to shuffle this up. And we're going to go ahead and spin it for a $5 Amazon gift card. All righty. Okay, so it's Walt Rogers. Walt was here at the beginning. Walt, are you still here? Type in "I'm here" if you're here. Let's see if Walt. Yeah, Walt's here. There it is. I'm here. So let me put Walt's name down here. All righty. Okay, that's the first one. We're going to do the second one here. I'm just going to do them both together here. And we are going to go for another $5 Amazon gift card. No, I'm not going to claim it, because I'm not going to claim it, so I'm just going to do that again there. I'm not going to claim it from my other channel, no. Oh, I don't believe this. Walt's the 2-time winner. All right, Walt, type it in there again. Let me know that you're still here. Oh, all right. Okay, so yeah, so Walt won them both this time. Hey, that's what comes when you pay the extra for the second level of on the membership there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close that and bring myself back up here and drop that down. Oh, no, Miami. It was bad was when the one time Where to Be Homestead, she got 3 out of the 4 I did that night. And another time Idaho Garden Girl got like 3 out of the 4 I did that night. So yeah, exactly. And up here in Idaho, he'd want what's called Lucky Idaho. It's you can win $1,000 a day for the rest of your life. All righty. All right. So let's get back at the topic here, and then I'll open up some questions here. All right. Ways to, quote, treat your gray water. Well, the first thing you can do is, if you can get under your house, if you don't have a slab house, And you can tie in where it comes down from the sinks, the bathroom sinks, the showers and stuff. And you can run, ABS pipe over to a certain spot near the crawl space where you can get in. You just turn valves and stuff. You can set it up where you can very easily to use certain ones at certain times. You can set it up so shower water. Oh, we're going to run the shower water out there all the time. Kitchen sink water. We do a lot of stuff, and you don't want to run that water out there all the time. Laundry water. We'll actually put the valve back behind the machine. So I'm running a load with bleach. We turn the valve that way, and they have these what are called three-way valves. And so basically, you have one coming out, and you have two others coming into it, and you turn which one. Or you have two coming in, one coming in, two coming out. So the laundry hose comes in, and you determine which way it's going to go out. Is it going to go out to the sewer, or is it going to go out to the garden? You just turn the valve to whichever way you want to do it. Very easy to do. And you can without really treating it, you can selectively use your gray water for laundry and stuff, from the laundry, the shower stuff into the garden. Now, one of the things that and someone's wondering what we use all free and clear for our both here across the street and in California, because it's just the one we prefer. It does a great job, and it doesn't have a lot of crappy chemicals in it. Now, so here in Idaho, they really don't care about it here. A lot of people just run it out there off most of the stuff, and just run it out to the garden. Of course, most of them have irrigation rights, so they don't need to worry about it. Now, when it comes to your toilet water, your black water, exactly. Check county regulations. Of course, then sometimes, it's better just to, I didn't know, because all they're going to tell you is just change it back. But, check anonymously so they don't know who it is, so they don't come check your house. You want to check anonymously. For the black water, we had some people in California ask us to help them set it up because, hey, we built sewer treatment plants. Working for the construction company that we built sewer treatment plants, water treatment plants and stuff. And we set up a black water treatment septic system for them. Basically, the toilet water, and only toilet, rather than going in the sewer down to the sewer treatment plant, installed a septic tank in back that and they got trying to remember the stuff on it. Anyways, there's in California you can get this gallon jug of bacteria stuff, and it even eats oil. Okay, and it turns oil into inert organic material you can use in gardens and stuff even. And you pour that in there to help set it up, and basically you are taking the poo, and in the septic tank, it is being processed by this bacteria and turned into non-biological debris. Well, as far as not biohazard debris, it's being transferred and stuff. And you run the water from that. What they did, they just ran it a special leach field. Rather than using a 4-inch pipe leach field, they use a 6-inch line leach field and ran it out amongst their trees. So it was that big, and then they instead of putting 6 inches of rock under it, they put 18 inches of drain rock under it. But before we dug the ditch, like a U-shaped ditch, lined it with filter fabric, put the rock, 18 inches of rock in there, put the pipe in there, filled it 6 inches above the pipe, folded the filter fabric over, and covered it. And so anything that didn't get biodegraded went out there into the pipes and broke down anyways. It never saw the light of day. But because we put it in such large pipes, any roots that were able after years to work their way through and get into the pipe, because the amount of what was coming down there was 99.2% liquid, it wasn't going to really plug up the line, because it would and soak in, and then the line would be dry till the next time someone flushed. And so the roots really didn't like to thrive in that condition, but it pulled stuff out. And you got tilapia. There it was. Some places do use it. And you think of it this way, though. A lot of your fish, anybody that eats catfish is a bottom feeder, which means all the poo that gets dumped in the rivers and stuff from deer, moose, bear, raccoons, and other fish settles to the bottom, and they come along and they process it. They are biologically made to process poo. So, yeah, it's one of those things that does work. Hey, Tennessee Tactical, how's it going? It's Jeremy. Oh, I missed it. There it is. It's CP at Hugo Homestead. So, people that eat fish right now, you got to realize fish are in water. What do fish do in water? They poop. What else do fish do in water? Well, the females drop eggs out, and the males put sperm in the water. And so they're living in the, I'm not going to go there, but you can figure out what I'm talking about. They're living in a type water. And carp, yeah. Also, koi. Koi also eats some too. Koi are both bottom and surface feeders too. It's like the hog of the water, exactly. And how many you like bacon? All right, yeah, okay. And so if one of the things that some people have done, and I haven't heard of any of the ones that I know about haven't been caught, and I'm not going to mention names, but they have enough acreage and stuff, and they have a fish pond, and they have their sewer pipe running into the fish pond from the toilets. Nothing else. They don't want any bleach. They don't want any soap. They don't want any. All they have is the water from the toilets, and they do not use the tidy bowl things in the toilet. Okay, hang on. Okay. I wasn't taking questions yet. Yeah. Rid-X is a help with the bacteria stuff to especially if you're using bleach in your laundry and it's going into your septic system, you need to be adding Rid-X to your septic system to put live bacteria back into it after the bleach kills it. Because the bleach not only gets everything out of your clothes, it kills the bacteria in the septic system. Anyway, some of these people, they have these fish ponds, and they have them loaded with fish, and they run the sewer pipe out there, and it doesn't come in near the top. It goes in, it comes out, and dumps in about a foot off the bottom. And that way it everything down there, and the fish just take care of it. And they also put out some certain water plants out there that the fish eat a little bit of the water plants, eat that. The water plants take the nitrates out of the water so the fish can live better. They make an environmental system there. And any fish in water, tuna eats smaller fish. Smaller fish eat smaller fish. Smaller fish eat stuff floating around in the water. You know, it's like Maccabea said, hogs eat a lot of stuff, a lot of crap food. All the garbage you throw out there, bad banana peels, stuff. Some of that stuff is worse than your own poo. Seriously, some of the food you feed to pigs is worse than your own poo. Yeah. Yeah, protein. Exactly, protein. So whether or not you want to turn your black water into a gray water you can use, that's up to you. Whether you want to use any of your gray waters, depending on the different ones, whether it's shower water, whether it's the bathroom sink water, whether it's the kitchen sink water, the laundry water, that's up to you. Things to remember, your soaps. If you're using I'm trying not to name names, but an antibacterial soap, that's bad for your garden. You do not want to use any antibacterial soap in your garden. If you're using bleach in anything, you don't want that water going into your garden. Exactly. All fish swim in a giant toilet bowl. And if you ever drank water out of a creek, guess what you're drinking? You're drinking the 10% gray water, because fish make love in that water. They poo in that water. The bears take a bath in the water. The raccoons take a bath in the water and wash their food in it. So that pristine stream is, oh, cool, I'm going to drink out of it. It's not pristine. So, and you got to remember, in some countries, the stream waters and stuff that people drink from are pretty nasty, anyways. Just look at a certain river in India and how bad it is. Hang on, I forgot to change it here. Something here. There we go. So, yeah, there are a lot of things. So if anybody has any questions, specific capital block letters, please, for questions. Exactly, CR. You never know what's up. Well, I know what's upstream. I know there's bears, deers, raccoons, possums, fish, everything pooping in the stream as they cross through the stream. Yeah. And what's interesting is about not knowing what's upstream. It's worse when you're in civilization. Seriously, the water in civilization is worse from what's upstream, because you have people upstream dumping crap in the water they shouldn't be dumping in the water. Yeah, but you see, oh, we got pristine streams for fishing from. It's pristine. It's great water. One of my scouts' fathers, when he dropped his son off for scout camp up at Camp Wolfboro, brought several 5-gallon buckets, went over, filled it full of the water from the North Fork of the Stanislaus River, and took it back home to drink it. And we picked him up, did the same thing. He loved that water. I told him, hey, you know what's in the water? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, no, it comes over all the rocks. It's all purified, kills all everything. Right up where you're pulling your water from is 100 yards below the swim area for the scouts. And sometimes that's the only bath the scouts take while they're camp is while they're at swimming. Yeah. So when you're thinking, if you got well water, your well water is, pretty good. If you got city water, your city water has been treated and it's got some chemicals in it, most notably chloramine by the bigger ones. Chloramine is harder to get rid of than the chlorine they used to use. It lasts longer. That's why they use chloramine, so they don't have to use as much to sanitize it. But so your water is starting out a little bit cleaner, and before it gets gets grayed and goes out. All right. So if you're thinking about possibly using gray water, think of the full spectrum. Think of every source of gray water in your house. Showers, sinks, toilets, laundry, kitchen sink. If you got a garbage disposal, everything you need to take into accommodation. Now, there are some people that are practicing a composting here in the United States, where they got a composting machine set up where they're putting like cow manure in, and they got all these worms in there. Well, they're also adding their own human pee, not picked up from a sewer treatment plant, which I would never use from, because people flush needles and medications down the toilet. And that's the other thing. Someone mentioned medications earlier, and I forgot to jump on it. If anyone in your house is using medications, and there's a chance they might be peeing in the shower, do not use the shower water. Do not use the black water. Try to run it through a system to do out to the orchards and stuff. You want to avoid any water that might be tainted with medications, because in my opinion, that takes it up here straight all the way over to the black water. And to me, that's non-treatable black water. And that's one of the reasons why we stopped using the water from the Central Sanitary District, is because they finally put out a report saying, no, we can't remove the medication. As soon as they did that, people stopped using their water in their gardens. Some people kept using it on the lawns, around the trees, the hedges and stuff. But people that were for gardens just cut it off. All right. And you can get these big, huge filters to remove certain things. Some of them get expensive depending on what you're trying to remove from the water. If you worried about trying to remove certain things. But remember, medications is one thing that you can't remove without running a high dollar reverse osmosis system for your wastewater, or a space shuttle type water treatment system for your water. All right, got a question here. Okay. The Sawyer is a little bit better than the Life Straw, but as with any of those straws, they say the one was advertising, it will filter 10,000 gallons of water. Yeah, 10,000 gallons of tap water in a lab. You had to, and then some of these say, to clean it, you just run clean water back through it to flush it out. Well, if you're running water back through it, if that water's not absolutely 100% clean, has particles in it that are going to be catching in the filter system on the other side. So as soon as you take your first sip of your freshly clean straw, all those particles will first thing you get. Life Straw and that stuff, that is emergency. Froze, I'll repeat. That is emergency use, and you want to use the cleanest water you can, which means if you're having to if you're having to take from a stream, you want to take that stream water, filter it through a t-shirt and stuff, get all the large stuff out of it, filter it through a coffee filter. And if you have one of those filter systems I did over on compound, where you take the half micron ceramic filter and you put it in a bucket and you filter water through that. Yeah, you want to get it as clean as possible before you start using the live straw, because you want the live straw is you want to take care of all the big stuff out of the first to make the live straw or the Sawyer last as long as possible. Yeah, Tibor, you're right. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Any river that has where people are dumping the sewer treatment plants have treated the water and then dumped it in the river, it ain't clean. Now, hey, Howie. Yeah. So you've got, when it comes, like I said, once again, you want to figure out whether you want to use your gray water, figure out which sinks, toilet, what source in the house you want to use that gray water from. And you want, if you're going to be using it where it just flows out, gravity flows right out to your garden, you also want to have a valve system where you can turn it off, because in the wintertime, you don't want it going out there, because otherwise there's going to be a huge swamp. And since we're talking about water, everybody remember to hydrate. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Now let's wait for some questions to pop up. Exactly. The live straws and stuff don't pull chemicals. They're not big enough to pull chemicals out of the water. So they pull out pathogens, bugs, bacteria, and stuff like that. Yeah, if you can buy, all right, example, a byproduct of agriculture is nitrates and nitrites leaching down from the fertilizers into the aquifer. They do have filters to remove nitrates and nitrites from your well water. It's expensive. The nitrates levels here, the city gets it tested, fortunately are way down to almost to the point of naturally occurring. But if we need to, when we get our own well put in here, we will we'll plumb the house, but we'll have the water going through the nitrate filter going to the kitchen sink and the bathroom sinks. That's it. Not the showers, not the toilets, not the laundry. We just got to remember not to drink shower water while we're showering. And, the only reason why we're doing the bathroom sinks is because we brush our teeth. We're not actually drinking that water. We do filter all our water in the house anyways. So. If you're drinking mountain stream water, you're good to go. Yeah, if it's your first time there, because mountain stream water can have the Giardia stuff in it. It has fish poo in it. It has fish sperm in it. It has dead fish rot in it. It has bear poop, everything else in it. Yeah. All righty. Berkey is banned in several states, Iowa and California, for false advertising. For it does not do what it says it do. That's all I'm going to say on that. You can look up this. Don't look up the stuff from Berkey, the Berkey's explanation of it. Look up the Department of Health's thing from it. Yeah. Because Berkey puts out a BS spin on it saying, oh, they're banning us because we won't tell them how we did, what our stuff process is. And it's, we don't, it's proprietary. So they're demanding we share this, and we're not going to sell our stuff there. No, you've been banned from selling your stuff there because your filters don't meet specs of what they claim to do. All righty. So let me jump over here and let's see bring up the stuff coming up here. And go ahead and go this way here. There we go. All right. So Friday night on Camp Patton Family Compound. The topic is continuum of water. Should I collect rainwater? And we're going to talk about the pluses and the minuses to collecting rainwater. Monday on Camp Patton Family Compound for the Monday Night Fireside Chat. The topic is flowers for your garden, and you can thank Howie, Food Forest Permaculture, for that topic. He came up with that last night. Next Tuesday here, we're going to, people keep on asking me, what is an IBC tote you keep talking about? What does IBC stand for? So we're going to talk about the IBC totes, what you can do with them, a whole bunch of different aspects to using IBC totes, including freshwater storage or non-potable water storage. So we're going to talk IBC totes next Tuesday here is going to be the topic, about them. All right, so that's what's coming up here. Don't forget on Thursday here on GrayManPrepping, the midnight ride starts at the countdown starts at 11:55 Eastern time. Get rid of this and just let me check something here. Okay, nothing else popped up on there. I've gotten some really interesting emails from the patch system that I'm going to be talking about here. There are several things that are affecting nationwide. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there are 4 things that are affecting. Are going to affect everybody nationwide from some of these news articles. So we'll be have some interesting stuff to talk about Thursday night. All right, I want to thank everybody for coming in. Thank you for those that posted questions, those that are talking about the different things as well, sharing the information they have. Thank you very much. And I've changed the time for the release of my Your Prep for today. I was doing it at 11:30 Mountain Time. Figure it out from there. Mountain Time. It's now going out at 8:30 Mountain Time. See if I can reach more people. All right. Yeah, it's early yet, but it's an hour, and I've got some stuff I was working on here. I've got to work on it. I'm coming out tomorrow with another premiere here for GrayManPrepping. If I get it done tonight, it should be around noonish tomorrow, my time, which would be 2:00 Eastern time. It's the Prepping in Private, and hang on here. Drop that out, get that down. And the Prepping Private topic we're going to be talking about is your purchase footprint. How to eliminate your purchase footprint. All right, folks. So hopefully I'll get that all finished tonight, get it all finished recorded. I've been making slides and stuff for it, and hopefully I can get it recorded and get it out so I can do it at around noonish tomorrow. All righty. So everyone, remember, stay happy no matter what life throws at you. Stay safe. Don't go out and do anything foolish. Keep adding to your preps. Water, food, medications, clothing, and skills. Learn how to do more stuff. Don't rely on everybody else telling you how to do it. Take a class, learn how to do it, even if it's an online course. Learn how to do stuff. All right? Take care, and I'll see you. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow afternoon around noonish.